Reds, Knobhead Tuesday. I'm Andy Heaton, Kev Walsh.
Hello.
September the 17th, in the morning of Liverpool's opening game to the 2019-2020 Champions League tournament.
Coming out quick, mate. 107 days or something since we were in Madrid, and it seems like 107 minutes.
Yeah, 100% since we lifted numero 6, or so, however you want to do it.
Well, whatever the book's called, just buy it.
Available in all good bookshops and all that palaver. Yeah, and it's weird that it's Napoli again.
Yeah.
I remember back a couple of years ago under Anfield, it always seemed like Chelsea every year, didn't it, or Arsenal, and it's mad how the same way that Man City always get Shakhtar because, you know, it's not fixed or anything. Yeah, so Napoli again, we travel over to Stadio San Paolo. We've still got a dodgy dressing room apparently, they've got a nice one, ours is still being left.
It's one of those...
moody then, isn't it?
It's very moody, and you would think that UEFA would have it down where you can't have stuff like this going on, but you'd also think you wouldn't have it where the away fans can't go to their own hotels when they go over there, wouldn't you? So I suppose it's one of them things when you go to Italy, it's like going back into the 70s and 80s. There's been all sorts of racism talk over the weekend as well with Romelu Lukaku. Again, it's a crazy country to play football in Italy, isn't it?
I mean, you talk about the dressing room thing, and like, is this a case of pin the dressing room to the dressing room? If it's fallen to bits that much.
Well, it's one of them, innit? Just walk in and say, listen, this is what these think they can do. Just get you out of your stride. And then you just look at Virgil van Dijk just sitting there going like that. I'm not even bothered. You know what I mean? Turn up in his own kit if he needs to and just get out and get the job done. Listen, I think they're a decent team, but they've had some mad results already this season. 2 4-3s already they've had this season. And I heard Neil talking to, what's the Italian journalist he's done?
James Horncastle.
James Horncastle. And he was
not at the Italian journalist.
Oh, sorry, the Italian journalist. So, well, he was saying that the problem is sometimes when they turn over possession, they're easy to be gotten at. Well, if that's not just the team you want Liverpool to be playing at this moment in time, I don't know what is. I know.
I mean, we'll get onto the game in the second part of today's talk on Reds, but it was arguably our worst performance, well, apart from Red Star.
Yeah.
Our away performances in the group stages were atrocious, but forget about that for a minute. We're talking about the previous game against Napoli, and we have played them in the UEFA Cup as well. Or was it the Europa then? A game that so I've got this thing where I can't remember any game under Hodgson. I think I've gone under some mad therapy or something where it's just totally blank. And I've had to ask Kev, seriously, what went on? So we played them under Hodgson.
Under Roy Hodgson, yes. The Steven Gerrard that game, we absolutely tore them apart. It was the first time we played them for, I think, possibly ever. And Liverpool have played away again for the first time in that competition, and quite a few Liverpool fans got hurt over there, and I think Anfield was on a bit of a revenge mission that night, and the atmosphere was crackling. It was one of the few highlights I remember under Hodgson where he wanted to be involved and everyone seems to be pulling in the same direction.
Had they been ramped up by what had gone on?
110% it had, and Steven Gerrard obviously come on and absolutely tore them apart. He was brilliant that game. I think he actually does come on as a substitute in the game. There's a good banner as well. One of the lads made the Ciao Napoli banner with the fella off the Muppet Show. He lives in the big Groucho, saying Ciao Napoli on that. So we've got a little bit of history with Napoli. Obviously we played them a few times since, and listen, it's not a very welcoming place to go. I'm glad I'm not over there, but if you're going over, enjoy yourselves, or if you're there already, I suppose. But just be careful out there. And I think the difference this time is, last year we were a team that could have a game like where you think there's nothing going right for us here, there's nothing working, and there's no to pull us through.
Within the first 10 minutes it was going to be one of them as well.
And I think they were probably a similar team to us last year. We obviously improved going throughout the season, but now you'd say there's a noticeable level of difference between us, and with the players we've got and the manager we've got, I fancy us to do a job there.
And then we can't talk about Napoli without talking about the game at Anfield, the last group game that saw us qualify for the knockout rounds of the Champions League, and the one game where the most expensive goalkeeper in the world paid for himself in what? Well,
in 1 second, basically, yeah. A moment where he sort of announced himself. It was funny last year after that game, wasn't it? The amount of people coming out and talking about, he's just come out and shut his eyes and he's just made the... And you think, yeah, listen, you're trying to cry it in, but he's come out and he's made a save that we've been always wanted for years as a goalkeeper that makes saves at them important times, and that was a fantastic one. It was a really good game, that one. I know we only won 1-0, but it was just nip and tuck, and
Salah was sensational. The battle between him and Koulibaly was just something else.
Well, he done Koulibaly for the goals, didn't he? That was the only, to be fair to Koulibaly, that was the only time Salah got the better of him, like to take advantage of. If you remember, Mane had a few chances in that game as well, which he didn't quite put away, so he could have been out of sight, but then obviously last minute, goes through. I think it's Milik, isn't it, who goes through. And Alisson just comes off and makes an absolutely
fantastic save. You just think goal, don't you? Because we were in the Cop for that, and you're looking right down the barrel of the gun at the Annie Road, and you're thinking, no.
I think everyone in the ground's thinking goal except Alisson. So fair play to him for making... And that was probably relatively early on in his career, and he's just kept that level up ever since, hasn't he? He doesn't really make mistakes, and if he does, as we said, just puts them in a box and throws them away, doesn't let it get on with him.
Unflappable. Talking about Napoli, before we get into the game, into our own little preview for the game, we did do a show for the app, Napoli, and here's a little clip from our Napoli preview video.
The champions! The Champions League is back, and this is the preview show for the Champions League game away at Napoli. Liverpool's first game in defence of the European Cup. I've got Paul Hogan, I've got Mo Stewart with me, I'm Gareth Roberts, and we're going to have a chat about this game and how we're all feeling. If there is a thing here, Mo, where doing all this content that we're doing for the Anfield app, a lot of it obviously is saying how good Liverpool are, how great they are, how they can get even better, how this player and that player is brilliant and all the rest of it. If there's one thing about the last sort of 12 months or so that's a bit of a negative, if you like, it was Liverpool on the travels in Europe, wasn't it? Because,
very much so.
They lost 1-0 at Napoli, as we just mentioned, lost 2-0 at Red Star, lost 2-1 at PSG, and lost 3-0 at Barcelona. Obviously, the way that we all know what happened in the end, and it was sad. But we sort of could do without doing that this time.
I think the difference between the group stage away performances and the knockout away performances is where we were as a team at that point. We were still kind of in that getting to the stage of consistency and high level of play. And then in February, March time, we were there, and we knew we were there. Hopefully this season we're going to be able to get to there a little bit quicker. But I do think it's funny because if you look outside of our Liverpool bubble, the narrative is going to be Napoli out for revenge after being knocked out last year by us. But like you say, all the people in our dressing room know how badly we played last season away there. They're going to be actually itching to put that right. And if you look at the way the group's scheduled, this is going to be our hardest game. And it's first.
Yeah.
So if we can come out of this with a good result, then that takes a lot of pressure off for the rest of the games. We can kind of almost have a semblance of control over the group from that early stages. And I mean, as far as Napoli are concerned, yes, they're going to come in, they're of an emotional side, they're going to want to use the crowd and everything to get behind them and maybe come out and go fast, but Ancelotti's not soft. He knows that if they get a draw against Liverpool in this game, they're probably going to get through as well.
And that's fine for us as well, isn't it? I mean, Mo's right, I think, in saying about sort of where the game comes at, because last time Napoli had been beaten in the first game and we beat PSG in our first game, and so it was sort of like they were coming at us then, weren't they, saying we need to win this one to get our Champions League group back on track, and they don't even end up getting out the group, obviously, but because it's the first one, kind of feels like, say you get to 75, 80, whatever, and it's a draw, you might get both sides sort of going, this'll do, it's all right.
And we're back. Yeah, great that from the lads. So looking forward to tonight's game. Bit of team news, there's Randy Robertson's travel, but there's stories, well, it's not really stories, we know that he's going to be assessed today and might be left out. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, would it, Kev?
If you want to pick a game for him to miss in the three that we've just had, Newcastle you want him playing, Chelsea next week you definitely want him playing. So if he has got a little knock, a little niggle, he's played the 2 games for Scotland, hasn't he? I'd say this is the one to, I'd have probably maybe left him at home, but obviously he can't be that unfit if he's travelled over there. I think there's a few changes you could make for Andy Robertson, which makes sense to leave him on the bench. You can put James Milner over there, wouldn't be a major issue. And you could even put Joe Gomez over there and say, get some minutes in your legs. I know it's at left back, definitely not his preferred position, but we certainly wouldn't be weakening our defence anyway by putting him there. We'd obviously be taking something out of the attack. But that's
Has the game come at like a weird time? Because, I mean, in theory, you look at our group and it's kind of like our toughest away, but it's also kind of a semi-free hit. Like, you want to win all your games, but if you can chalk one down where you think, oh, we could go there full strength and still struggle a little bit, but then equally we could go there and change it around a bit and still get a result.
Yeah, I'd say, as you say, it's perfect time because you've got 5 games to get over it if we do lose. But also, I think everyone in the back of the mind is thinking, well, we lost all 3 last year away from home and we still went through. Obviously, we don't want it to be that nervy this time, but you'd fancy us to get a result in Genk and Salzburg, wouldn't you? So, listen, we said that about Red Star last year, so it's never going to be as easy as that. But if there was a game, I don't think it'd be panic stations if we get beat, put it that way. I'm not expecting us to get beat by any stretch of the imagination, of course, but it is, as you say, first game, so there's loads of time to recover from it. Plus as well, with the lead we've just got in the league, there's a feel-good factor which, if we get beat here, but beat Chelsea on Sunday, it'll be forgotten about straight away. So as you say, perfect timing really.
Some odd team news, Divock Origi out, the impudence of youth might see Ryan Brewster get in on the action. For those that don't know, he was, during the game when Origi went off, Brewster was playing in an under-23s game, I think. Yeah. Got the phone call and they upped him straight away. Could be time to make his big announcement.
Well, I hope so. I think, first and foremost, I think Klopp will probably go with the front three to get started. But for the first substitute, if it's not Shaqiri, I think it might be Ryan Brewster. I think it probably is about time for him to come through. If you think about,
he's got to play sometime, Kev.
Well, also we've got MK Dons next Wednesday, haven't we? So that's a game I'd have him in mind for, probably to start off as well. I don't maybe give him the full 90 and say, listen, here's your time, go and have a little go with it. We've then got Sheffield United to follow. So if he does have a little run now, he might come on tonight and have a go. Then plays against MK Dons. You never know. He might force himself into a position to be looking to start or be first substitute against Sheffield United next week. So it's a good time for him. Unlucky for Divock Origi, but I think the quality of the squad means we're probably not going to miss Divock too much, and hopefully when he gets back soon enough.
You see any other changes at the back? Maybe give Lovren a game. I don't know. Might shuffle around with Gomez, or do you think if they switch with Robertson, they'll try and keep it as safe as possible?
I can't see Lovren coming in because he's struggling to even get on the bench at the moment, isn't he? So I think with Gomez being the first substitute for centre half, get some minutes in his legs. I think Matip and Van Dijk, I'd play them both. You can't really underestimate Napoli going forward. You've got some cracking players. So, and
you can't get away with not rotating your centre halves, can't you, most of the time?
Well, they don't do as much running as anyone else do, but also I think you've got to think we've got Adrian in goal, and I think keeping it as solid as you can in front of him for his own confidence.
He's improved, hasn't
he? He's been excellent. I think he made a few mistakes. His kick and probably wasn't as good as people thought it was going to be. But the team have adapted around that. But then it was noticeable on Saturday, I thought, that they were passing the ball back to him a lot more than they have been doing. And I think that speaks volumes of the way John Achterberg's been doing with him.
And just getting used to the areas that he likes playing in. You know yourself, there's certain areas where you want it in certain areas. And that varies from goalkeeper to goalkeeper.
Well, they're obviously very used to playing them balls to Alisson, who will like it in a certain way, as you say, and Adrian likes it in a totally different way. The 2 weeks of solid saying, and probably mostly just on that, because the shot stopping's absolutely fine, is probably paying off dividends for us now. And listen, it's a good job it has, because we need him. We've got another, 5 or 6 games before the next international break, and from the looks of it, there's going to be no Alisson before then, so a lot rests on Adrian's shoulders.
I know, I can't even imagine how many points we'd have in the league if Alexander got injured.
I see you put that up the other day and got a few
Honestly.
Fishing net not big enough.
Honestly, you know, have a word with yourselves. Seriously. Bloody hell. Right, okay, so far I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, but I can't wrap today up without mentioning the gift that keeps on giving.
God bless them.
Lads.
Go on, you explain to it, because it's only just come out, hasn't it?
So, Carlo Giacomuzzi, and I'm presuming I'm pronouncing his name right, gave an interview to an Italian radio station. He's a scout, an Everton scout, an actual member of Everton staff. Scout has come out in an interview and basically poured scorn on Liverpool's defence, saying Liverpool's defence leaves a lot to be desired.
This coming from a defence marshalled by Michael Keane, who's just let 3 goals in against Bournemouth. He's like the Blues.
I mean, come on, Everton's standards are a high bar. I mean, if it was, Pickford would really struggle. So yeah, so, Carlo, keep your eye close to home, mate. That's us for today. Nice one. Talking Neds, Tuesday, September the 17th. I got it right at the end. Nice one, up the Neds.